There's this quiet disconnect that every single person in sales lives with.
Oh, absolutely. We all feel it.
Right. We never really talk about it out loud,
Yeah.
but it is always there. I mean, we will spend hours and hours obsessing over the perfect pitch, right?
Yeah, practicing in the mirror until we are totally exhausted.
Exactly. We put so much heavy energy into the art of the close. But then, if you look at the actual day-to-day work, almost all of us give up on a potential client after just 4 follow-up attempts.
Which is wild because we know from our own lived experience that most deals only close after the 5th contact.
Right. So it is just this strange mystery. Why do the people who talk the loudest about being these, natural closers completely freeze up when a manager asks them a simple question?
You mean when they ask what stage 1 specific deal is actually in?
Yes. They totally freeze. And today, I just want to dive deep into why we build these mental traps for ourselves.
Yeah, and how to quietly take them apart. Because that freeze you mentioned, that is so incredibly real.
Is the worst feeling.
It really is. I know that feeling right down in my bones. You were sitting there in a room, right? The manager asks the question, and there's just this sudden, heavy silence.
Yeah, your mind just goes totally blank.
Completely. You are asked which deals are stuck, which ones are ready to sign, and which ones are, secretly dead.
And you just don't know.
Right. In that awful sinking moment, you realize you genuinely have no idea. So what do we naturally do?
We fake it.
Exactly. We hide the sudden panic behind a wall of busyness.
Like sending a dozen random emails.
Yes. We make more calls, we send more emails, we book more empty meetings, we just try to look really, really busy.
Just to prove we are doing something.
Right. But underneath all that loud motion, we are quietly drowning. I mean, we are mentally juggling 20 complex chats at once.
And you lose the thread.
We do.
Oh.
Not because the buyer told us no, but simply because we forgot to reach out at the exact right moment. We dropped the ball.
And it creates this constant heavy anxiety in the background of our lives, right?
Yeah.
Like this total pipeline blindness. It is just exhausting.
Exhausting is the perfect word for it.
But let's dig into the why of it for a second. Why do we actively resist building a clear system to fix this?
That is the big question.
Right. When I think about my own early days, I wonder if it just comes down to pride.
Oh, pride is a huge part of it.
Does admitting we need a real system somehow feel like admitting we just are not natural at this job?
Yeah, like you are faking it.
Exactly. Like if we need to write things down, it means we lack the raw talent to just charm our way to the target. Are we choosing to suffer just to protect our ego?
I think you are hitting the absolute nerve of the issue there.
Really? You think so?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
There is this powerful, stubborn myth in our world that the absolute bestsellers just operate on pure charm,
Yeah.
and a golden memory.
Like those movies about the smooth talkers.
Right. We watch those movies and we think that is the actual job.
But it's not.
Not at all. Relying on your memory and sheer daily hustle quietly costs you real money every single week.
Because things slip through the cracks.
Exactly. When you sit down with someone who is constantly struggling to hit their numbers, they are rarely short on fresh leads.
Right.
And they are almost never short on charm or humor or social skills. What they're completely missing is structure.
Just a basic framework.
Yeah, they lack the quiet, unseen daily habits that actually hold a career together over the long haul.
It reminds me of trying to diet or track a monthly budget.
Oh, that is a great way to look at it.
Right. Because logging your deal updates on a Friday afternoon from memory is exactly like trying to log every single meal you ate all week on a Friday at 5 o'clock.
Which is impossible.
It is entire fiction. You are just guessing. You sit there like, did I have a snack on Tuesday? Did I call that person on Wednesday?
And those tiny guesses really add up.
They compound into missed chances. We tell ourselves we will remember the details of a 40-minute call, but we never do.
Never.
Which makes me think, maybe the problem is not that our memories are bad.
What do you mean?
Maybe we are just using our brains for the wrong task entirely.
Oh, I see.
We are treating our minds like a storage drive, when really they are meant to be active processors.
That is a crucial point. It really is. The brain is meant for active listening, right? For reading the room.
Yes, feeling out the sudden shifts in a chat.
Exactly. It is terrible at holding on to 20 different timelines and specific exit clauses. The Friday afternoon memory game is a trap.
It forces the brain to do what it is worst at.
Right. The people who constantly bring in serious revenue year after year do not have superhuman memories.
They just don't play that game.
Exactly. They just flat out refuse to rely on memory in the first place.
So what do they do instead?
They keep their system honest right after a call ends while the details are still fresh.
Oh, so they don't wait for Friday?
Never, because when you do it right away, you take away that constant crushing background pressure.
You don't have to wake up in a panic.
Right. You do not have to wake up at 3 in the morning wondering if you forgot to send that pricing sheet. The truth is right there on the screen.
It frees your mind to actually focus on the human being sitting right in front of you.
Exactly.
Wait, so if memory is the trap and we need to offload that mental burden, what exactly are we offloading it to?
A trusted system.
But it cannot just be a random office checklist, right? Checklists never stick. We do them for 3 days and abandon them.
Yeah, checklists are mostly useless.
It feels like we need a map. But if we follow that logic, the map cannot just be a record of what we did, like sent email or left voicemail.
No, that is just tracking your own noise.
Right. It has to be a mirror of what the buyer is actually thinking.
Yes. You just found the core shift. That is it.
Really? Just mirroring the buyer.
Exactly. A real pipeline is not an office to-do list for your boss. It is a living visual picture of a buyer's mental journey.
Okay, walk me through that.
Well, buyers move through very clear mental phases before they ever agree to spend money.
Sure.
First, they live in total ignorance. Then they realize they have a problem.
The pain points.
Right. Then they look for answers. They check to see if they trust you. And only then do they commit. A good system just mirrors that internal journey.
So it tells you where they are at.
Yes.
Yeah.
It tells you exactly what mental phase the buyer is in, and therefore what kind of chat will actually help them feel safe enough to move forward.
So if they are checking to see if they trust you, and you are just pushing urgency...
You will lose them completely.
Wow. Okay, so let's trace this journey, but let's avoid treating it like a strict corporate rulebook.
Definitely.
I want to look at the mental shifts. The journey from a total stranger in thin air to a signed piece of paper. How does this actually unfold in the buyer's mind?
Well, it starts in a state of zero engagement. We call this the suspect phase.
Suspect, like a police lineup.
Sort of. It is just a name and a company that fits the profile of who you want to help. They do not know you at all.
Just a name on a screen.
Right. Nothing has happened except you finding their name on a list.
I have to challenge that right out of the gate.
Go for it.
Why even track a name that is not engaged at all?
You think it's a waste of time?
Yeah. Is that not just adding extra visual mess to your day? We already have too much noise to look at. If they have not spoken to me, they are not a deal.
I hear you. It absolutely feels like a mess at first glance.
Right.
But it is actually your early warning system.
How so?
Your unengaged list is the only true measure of how big your future world is going to be 3 months from now.
Oh, I see.
Tracking this specific group prevents that terrifying feast or famine cycle.
Yeah, I know that cycle all too well.
We all do. You spend a month intensely closing deals, you feel great, and then the next month your commission drops to absolute zero.
Because you stopped looking for new people while you were busy closing.
Exactly. Keeping the suspect group visible keeps you grounded.
Ah, okay. It is the safety net against future dry spells. It forces you to keep planting seeds even during the harvest.
Perfectly said.
So what happens in the buyer's mind when they finally reply? What is the mental shift there?
That is the moment they step over the line. They become a prospect.
Okay, prospect.
This is someone who shows that first tiny signal of actual interest. Maybe they replied to your outreach. Maybe they took a quick phone call.
So they are opening the door just a crack.
Right. The mental shift for them is simply, okay, I am willing to give this person 5 minutes of my attention.
But you aren't selling yet.
No. The goal here is not to sell them anything yet. The goal is to see if they belong in the golden stage.
The golden stage.
Yes. Once they agree to a real deep talk about their business, they become a qualified lead.
And that is where the magic happens.
This is where real selling begins. And honestly, it is where most people make their biggest mistakes.
I can see that. You call it the golden stage. But qualified is such a tricky word.
It really is. Everyone uses it differently.
Right. Everyone defines it differently. If
Yeah.
we're avoiding memory traps, how do we firmly know they are real? What is the solid trigger here?
Real means you have confirmed 3 distinct facts through direct talk, not through hoping or guessing.
Okay, what are the 3 facts?
1, do they have a solid problem that you can actually fix?
Right, a real pain point.
2, do they have the power to make a choice or at least bring the boss into the room?
Essential. And the 3rd?
3, do they have a timeline for solving this pain?
The timeline. Without that, they just drift forever.
Exactly. If you skip this hard work and jump straight to your pitch just because they smiled at you, you end up chasing shadows.
You just waste your own time.
You will waste weeks on deals that never actually existed in the first place.
That hurts just thinking about it.
But if they pass that strict test, they move into active review. They're actively comparing options. You finally understand their deep, specific needs.
And then comes the moment of truth. The proposal.
The big moment.
But here is what I see happen constantly, right? People spend 3 hours building a beautiful document, they attach it to an email, they hit send, and then nothing.
Total silence.
Yes, total silence. They just sent it into the void.
Sending a document into the void is exactly where deals go to die.
Why do we do it then?
Because it feels safe. But the buyer's mental load is just as high as yours. When they open a massive document alone at their desk, they get totally lost and they just close it.
So what is the fix?
You must present a custom fix live. You walk them through it.
Live, as in on a call or in person.
Yes. Presenting it live allows you to see their face, to hear their pauses, and that naturally leads into the deal phase.
Talking terms.
Right. And we have to remember, most stalls during this phase are not actually about the money.
Wait, really? But they always say it's the price.
Money is just the easiest excuse. A price pushback is usually just a lack of trust wearing a price costume.
Wearing a price costume, that is so true.
They are simply not sure your fix will actually work for them.
That makes total sense. They use price as a shield because saying, I do not trust you is socially awkward.
Exactly. It's much easier to say, it's too expensive.
And then finally, the reality check. The deal is won or it is lost.
The end of the road.
But hearing these phases as concepts is one thing. Living them in the messy real world is another.
It is very messy.
How does shifting from a memory-based hustle to this kind of mental map actually change someone's daily life?
Well, let me share a story about someone named Sarah.
Okay, tell me about Sarah.
She sold software to small factory groups. She's deeply likable.
What are those natural charmers?
Yes. Buyers really enjoyed talking to her. They would ask about her weekend. They just loved her energy.
But let me guess, the numbers didn't match the charm.
Exactly. Her numbers were all over the place. One month, she would crush it. The next month, she would miss entirely.
That is so stressful.
It quietly ate away at her confidence.
I bet.
She kept a mental list of her deals in her head, and she would jot important names on little yellow sticky notes.
Oh no, not the sticky notes.
Yes. Eventually, those notes would lose their stickiness, slide under her keyboard, and vanish completely into the dust.
The graveyard of sticky notes under the keyboard. It is total chaos. It is the physical proof of mental overload.
Exactly. It is chaos dressing up as a system.
So what changed for her?
Her turning point was not some grand speech from a boss. It was the quiet, awful discomfort of a manager simply asking her a basic question.
What did they ask?
Sarah, exactly how many deals do you have in the qualified stage right now with a firm timeline for next month?
And she didn't know.
She sat there and realized she genuinely had no idea.
That is that heavy silence we talked about earlier.
Right.
But how does she actually fix it? Because just deciding to be more organized never really works.
No, willpower isn't enough.
What was the actual trigger she used to stop losing the sticky notes?
She built what we call strict exit criteria.
Exit criteria, yeah.
Yes. Before, a deal would move forward in her mind just because a week passed or because she felt emotionally good about the chat.
Oh, relying on the vibe.
Exactly. She replaced that feeling with a solid event. An exit rule is not a vibe. It is a 0 or a 1.
Give me an example.
Well, a deal does not move to the next phase just because the client smiled. It only moves if the client takes a specific, undeniable action. Do they accept the calendar invite for a technical review? Yes or no?
Oh, that makes it so clear.
Right. If no, the deal stays exactly where it is. It forced her to be honest.
Did her numbers jump right away?
Her close rate did not explode overnight, no. But her consistency did.
The wild swings stopped.
Yes. The random, terrifying swings stopped. And that simple, boring consistency entirely changed how she felt about her own career.
So her success did not come from learning a new closing trick.
Not at all.
It came from choosing honesty over hope. She stopped pretending a deal was moving just because she wanted it to move.
Precisely.
Which brings up what I think is the single hardest part of this entire profession.
What's that?
Having the courage to admit when a deal is actually dead.
Oh, wow. Yes. It takes immense personal courage to look at your own hard work and admit it is going nowhere.
It really does. There is this real deep terror of an empty pipeline.
People are terrified of it.
I know so many people who feel like it is comforting to look at a huge list of names on their screen, even if half of them have gone completely silent for months.
It feels like a warm blanket.
Right. Doesn't a full list mean you have a healthy business?
Mhm.
Doesn't it at least show your manager that you are working hard and trying your best?
That is the most dangerous illusion in our line of work.
Really, the most dangerous.
By far.
Uh-huh.
A pipeline stuffed with stalled, emotionally hoped-for deals is incredibly dangerous. It creates false confidence.
Because it's not real.
Exactly. It is a ghost town. You wake up thinking you have 30 active chats, when in reality you have 4.
Ouch.
The single most valuable habit you can build is not tracking what is moving. It is ruthlessly removing what has stopped moving.
Ruthlessly purging your own hard work. That hurts just to say out loud.
It stings, yeah.
But I assume you need a rule for this too.
Yeah.
You cannot just delete things when you feel sad. You need a setup to remove the emotion from the choice.
You absolutely need a clear rule. Otherwise, your emotions will always talk you into keeping dead deals alive.
So what does that rule look like?
For example, you set a firm rule. If a buyer goes completely silent for 30 days, you make one final, clear attempt to reach them.
Just one.
Just one. You leave a polite message giving them permission to walk away. If they do not answer that, you honestly mark the deal as lost.
You just let it go?
You let it go. And here is where the mindset shifts entirely. A closed, lost deal is not a failure.
What is it then?
It is vital data.
Data. I like that.
When you track your lost deals and force yourself to give them a specific reason code, like lost to arrival or timeline fell through, you suddenly see patterns.
Oh, so you can see where things always break down.
Yes, you see exactly where your personal approach needs to change.
Yeah.
It's not personal rejection, it is just clear, useful direction.
Letting go of dead deals takes so much personal discipline when you're working alone.
It really does.
But what happens when this kind of individual confusion multiplies across an entire team of people?
Oh, it gets so much worse.
Right. If one person's ghost pipeline is bad, 20 people doing the same thing must build into total madness for a company.
It builds into absolute chaos. Think about a manager named Michael.
Okay, let's hear about Michael.
He led a team selling transport services. The team's monthly forecasts were completely wild.
Like way off base.
Way off. One month, they projected huge numbers and completely missed. The next month, they aimed incredibly low and blew past the target in the first week.
So nobody had any idea what was going on.
No one, from the manager to the reps, knew what was actually real.
Let me think about the mechanics of that.
Go ahead.
If the whole team is missing their forecast, it usually means they are not actually bad at selling. They are probably just operating with zero shared language.
That's exactly it.
It is like a band trying to play the exact same song, right? But every single player is playing in a completely different key.
Yes, perfect picture.
The drummer is playing smooth jazz. The guitarist is playing heavy metal. It sounds like a total mess to the crowd, even if they're all incredibly talented players on their own.
That is exactly the reality they were living in.
Wow.
One person's definition of a highly qualified lead was another person's definition of a casual first chat.
So the words meant nothing.
They were using the same words but meant entirely different things. Michael had to stop the music.
How did he fix it?
He sat down with his team and they did the boring work.
The office work.
Yes. They simply wrote out shared definitions. They defined clear binary exit rules for every single stage together as a group.
That sounds tedious.
It felt like a boring, tedious office task that took them away from the phones.
But did it work?
The outcome was massive. It's completely removed the heavy stress of wild forecasts and constantly shifting manager expectations.
Because everyone was finally on the same page.
Right. For the first time in years, they finally trusted their own numbers.
So whether you are a team leader like Michael trying to get the band in tune, or a solo rep like Sarah just trying to find those sticky notes before the month ends,
Yeah.
this all boils down to one fundamental shift in how we view our daily work.
It really does.
It is not about buying better software. It is a total change in how we relate to our own business.
The absolute biggest shift you can make is to stop seeing your pipeline as paperwork for your manager.
Paperwork for the boss. That is the trap.
That's the trap. It is not a chore you do to keep them off your back. It is a personal mirror of your own performance.
A personal mirror.
It is a tool built entirely for you.
Yeah.
It is your personal leverage. When you treat it like your own business, the anxiety starts to fade.
Personal leverage. I think that is the perfect phrase.
Thanks.
And getting that leverage just comes down to quiet, daily choices, right? Not heroic end-of-the-month pushes.
It is all in the daily habits.
Like what? Give me the daily habits.
Well, you choose to log updates immediately after a call to stop the memory decay before it starts.
Right, no more Friday afternoon guessing games.
Exactly. You choose to match your follow-up pace to the buyer's actual stated agency rather than your own end-of-the-month panic to hit a target.
That is huge, following their speed, not yours.
And you treat your weekly pipeline review as a firm, non-negotiable meeting with yourself that you simply cannot cancel.
Just locked in the calendar.
Yes.
Replacing that heavy mental jumble with a trustworthy, clear system is honestly the ultimate cure for feeling like an imposter.
It really cures that imposter syndrome, yes.
Because when you step into a high-stakes meeting with a major client, you aren't just standing there relying on empty charm.
No, term runs out.
You aren't hoping your pitch is just smooth enough to work. You are standing on a solid foundation that you built yourself, block by block.
It changes your physical posture in the room.
It does. It changes the tone of how you speak.
It changes everything about how you carry yourself. A sales career is not a static place you finally arrive at one day when you learn the ultimate secret.
There is no ultimate secret.
Right. It is a direction you choose every single day through small, honest awareness and quiet daily habits.
I love that. I want to leave everyone listening with a final, provocative thought to chew on today.
Let's hear it.
Next time you sit down at your desk and open your pipeline, try an experiment. Look at your biggest, most exciting deal, the one you are really counting on.
Right. I'll have one.
Now ask yourself a hard question. If my life depended on proving this deal is actually moving forward, what concrete proof do I have besides my own optimistic feelings?
Ooh, that is tough.
If the answer is none, if there's no mutual action plan, no calendar invite, no firm timeline, you do not have a pipeline. You just have a wish list. And knowing the difference is the first step to real peace of mind.
These thoughts, these questions, they don't have to stop here. Sales Geeks has many more podcasts and videos just like this one. Subscribe to the channel and explore other episodes. They all flow the same honest way. If this podcast felt genuinely useful to you, share it with even one person in your life. That one share can bring a real change in someone's life, and it helps Sales Geeks reach more people who truly need this. If this brought you real value, look for the join button right next to the Sales Geeks logo below this video. Click it and become a member of the Sales Support Circle. Your support helps honest sales awareness reach thousands who are silently struggling. Sales Geeks moves forward because of you. Thank you so much from the heart for being here.